Thanks everyone for tuning in. Today I am doing a customer success interview with one of our favorite customers, Cathy Nation. Cathy, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And so let's jump in. I know when you and I were speaking a couple of weeks ago, you were on to deal number 13, which is super exciting. We've only been working together a couple of months. What I really want to do on this phone call is use this as an inspiration, or Zoom call, should I say, use this as an inspiration for other people to, see that success is possible and maybe take some learnings away from today about what they might do to overcome where they're at and start to get that lead flow and deal flow like you have. Because I think it's not only awesome to celebrate you as a customer, but to pay it forward a little bit too, to see how you and I collectively can help others. So let's jump in. As I said, it has been an absolute pleasure working with you. You're one of our favorite customers because you do what you say you're going to do, which for me is really wonderful. So tell me, when you think back to starting with us, where were you with your business back then, about 6 months ago?
Well, I tell you, that's a loaded question, but it was very inconsistent. We sent about 2,000 letters out, and about 4 months later, we'd send another 2,000. I mean, but it was just kind of, starting, and that's just what all I knew to do. So that was one of the main reasons that I drew to Supercharge, was the idea of the consistency, and that almost like an accountability partner, that you would
Yeah.
be, talking with me and saying, this is how many, letters will go out at this date. And so that would keep me on track. That was big for us.
I love that, Cathy. And there's a couple of things you mentioned there that I think we'll just hone in on for a second. But one is you did some mailers and then you waited 4 months. The thing is, for anyone listening, when you wait that long, it's almost like starting your business again every time.
That's
It's
right.
that big pause, just your entire pipeline dries up. The other thing that I love what you said is about accountability. So yes, we get you consistent, but every phone call we have, it's fair to say that I ask you, how's your leads going? How's your deal flow? What's your conversion? What are you looking at? What can we help
Right.
with? And I
That's
think
right.
that that's a nice partnership that we've got going on there. So where are you now? I said
Well,
13 deals. Where are you guys now?
13 deals. We have closed since March, and we're averaging a very nice profit per deal. We started out, kind of small, and built up to that. So our consistency with the deals, we're averaging about 2.6 deals a month closing, and our goal
Yep.
is 4. And our goal was 4 just by the end of fourth quarter. So I feel like we're on track, to meet that. We've got another 3 deals in the pipeline that are under contract that should close in October. They've got some probate issues that have delayed those some. But I think one thing that you said that makes me want to mention this, the 4 months in between, I was always fearful that the mailers would work and the phone would ring off the hook so crazy that I wouldn't know how to handle. And so I hesitated. When we have better, I guess, capability or systems with you guys, of you work with us too on what do I do? Like I asked you about a spreadsheet, and you asked, you're helping me decide if I want to switch a CRM or how to track things. So it isn't just, I think people may think you're a mailer house or a mail, company, but there's so much more that goes into it. So
There really is. I mean, we helped you with understanding your branding, your value proposition, your website, your content, your systems, your data, your spreadsheets, like really just helping you to dial all that stuff in. I'm so glad you mentioned that, Cathy, because there are so many components as a land investor that there's lots of things that we're all juggling, right? And if we can help to not have so many balls in the air that we're juggling and help to get that consistency, it certainly makes a difference. So it's great to hear that you've got 3 more deals in the pipeline as well. So what do you feel have been the components that have helped to get that consistency, that have seen those results flourish?
I think biggest for me is the fact that you're helping with the initial data pulling and the scrubbing and all of the steps that lead up to. I need to look at the counties myself, of course, but once
Mhm.
I give those counties to you guys, the the niche that you helped us create in the buy local, we are local. I've had several comments from our sellers say, I get these letters a lot, but I chose you because you're local here. I liked the format of the letter. I liked, the delivery of the letter. And furthermore, when I called, you answered. It was a live person. And so I feel like a lot of the successes that we've had just in this short period of time is you've taken off the things off of my plate that I needed to, so I could focus on the clients and the calls. And that's what I'm good at. And that's what I enjoy. So, you know how they teach you to focus on what you do love and outsource what you don't, or maybe that you're not as good at. So I feel like my superpower is that negotiation and that, speaking to the seller and the buyer both.
Yeah, 100%. And for anyone listening, again, there's a couple of things that Cathy just mentioned there that I want to hone in on, where those that we work with that are successful versus those that we work with that might not be as successful, right? You get onto your calls straight away. You call back as a person. When they ring you, you answer, or a physical person answers, which is great. Because I always say that this business is about relationships before it's about real estate. And that can't be more true in this current day and age that we're in the market that we're in, to build that relationship and rapport with people. And the other thing I want to mention is county selection. Let's just talk about that for a second before we move on to the next question. What is some advice that you would give people, Cathy, when it comes to understanding county selection?
I think that it's important that not for sure not to get discouraged, because sometimes we all know there are going to be some counties that, are tried and true, and you're able to get, repeat deals from those counties. But I often get stuck trying to analyze, just so critically, and I think it's important to kind of keep an open mind and know that you're going to have to test some. It's probably going to cost, and so, and I learned something that I didn't, I was kind of focusing on 1 to 5 acres, because I'm thinking it's cash. I'm thinking it's quick. I'm thinking the buyer potential is broader, but it ends up, it's what we're selling because that's what we're mailing to. So we increased it to 10, from 1 acre to 10 acres as our range. And our biggest profit single deal was a 9-acre tract that we sold 10 days ago.
Fantastic. I love it. And here's the thing I always say to people too, right? We are not our end buyer. And so sometimes you just got to keep putting that bait on the end of the hook and keep fishing. And you'll soon know, like, the market will tell you what the sellers and the buyers want to do. So, as you said, you've got to keep testing and you've got to keep putting that out there. So I can happily say then, Cathy, my own personal experience working with you is that you're very planned, you're very methodical, and you're very action focused. And for me, those 3 components are absolutely critical for any successful business. So walk us through how you plan to do a marketing campaign with us, and what are you doing to make sure that attraction of more deals is happening? And walk us through a little bit about how you work.
I do have one admin. She's full-time, and she works with me on, once we've sent the leads out and the calls come in through, we use Tresta, a system that I feel is very inexpensive, for about $30 for 2 numbers, or buy on a cell phone. So sales phone. And so that's one ringing now. So we have that marked. And so it allows her, it emails us and it text messages and it phones me. So if 24/7, of course, we have an option for us to track missed calls. So we can call any of those back. And that's what's also on our sign. We do have signs that we place for Sweet as Sugar land deals on properties. So we know based on the number if it's a buyer or a seller lead from that. So that's our initial, intake, so to speak. And then we use Investment Dominator for the sellers. And Julie, my admin, works with me and puts all the leads in the CRM, which we have 192 from the beginning of working with you. And they're from all the buy leads from all of our deals. And we have a name and a phone number and an email. So once those buyers are in there, they get a 1 time a month email that says, here are our new properties. Here are our new
Fantastic.
properties. So, and I'm just now getting to where I have a seller sheet that has once we're under contract, they get a thank you card for their contract, and we begin their marketing. And then we have certain, like dates that we follow up on. And I'm just now getting to where I'm tracking them a little bit better than before. I was just kind of, I did it, but I had kind of, things everywhere. And so I have one CRM that I put them all the buyers in, and that's Realty Juggler. And then we are still working on the sellers with Investment Dominator. And I handle all of the communication with the title and the closing attorney, because I'm local to them, and that's one of my, again, superpowers is communication and negotiation with them. I'm very hands-on. I spoke to them today. I'll be in their office tomorrow, kind of thing. I'm very local to them as well. So that helps.
I love it, Cathy. It makes me smile every time I see your Facebook post that you've been to your title company for another closing. It's a great day. But, just listening to you there, I heard some common themes, which is systems, processes, follow-up, tracking, all of these things that I think are really vital to anyone doing the land business. So what advice would you leave with people that might be struggling with their lead flow, Cathy?
I think too, it's very, again, we talk about how I think there's probably, I don't know how many times I've said, you know what, I don't know if I got into this space and I belong here, or, am I doing it right? Am I following up enough? Am I not following up? There's always deals that I feel like, I think the national average is like 7 times or something before somebody says yes. So you have to be okay with, I offered a guy to 35,000. He wanted 200 the other day. And so I said, okay, great. Let me get back to you and take a look again, and we'll see where we are. What else, can you say? So I think it's good to stick with it and hang in there, even though it may seem like you're getting a lot of no's. But I would also say you do need some kind of system as far as when are you going to contact them after the first offer to say, did you get it? Or follow up with a 2-second offer on the second week, or come up with some system that works for you. Personally, I'd like to be a little bit more focused in personal attention in my 4 deals. I don't really want to talk to about 12 and maybe do 4, but I know that possibly isn't the numbers, that I need more than that. So I would say my best advice is, to stick in there, hang in there, even when, it gets a little tough. You have to really keep a positive thinking going, because it is easy when a couple deals, take you out of the game. It's hard, and it's easy to get.
It is. Yeah, you're so right. This business, when you're a land investor, you have great days and you have not so great days. And that's the reality. And I think it's the same with marketing, right? You can have great counties and not so great counties. You can have a not so great county that the next time you mail them becomes a great county. Like it is slightly unpredictable. And I love what you said there, is you just got to stick with it, have the right mindset, and keep going forward. So let's wrap this up, Cathy. I love the things that you've shared today. I think this is going to be really inspiring and super helpful for anyone that is listening. What value do you see partnering with us, and how have we, overall, what's the sense that we've helped you with?
I think mostly, AJ, is the surrounding ourselves, Julie and I, with people that have that abundance, mindset. And it may sound, cliche, but that's just what we've wanted to do. You have to surround yourself, because this can be very isolated. I mean, you can be like you're on a desert island in a minute, a deserted island, or in the desert, either one. And so I think that's very important, to always feel like, and if if you're the smartest one in the room, then you need to move rooms, change rooms. That's one of those things that I've always felt like, and especially because you gain and build confidence with you, and then that builds that momentum. I mean, we've crazy momentum in this short time.
Yeah.
So it's it's just been wonderful to partner with you all, and we have already exceeded what we had forecasted for our first. This is our first full year, 100% all in. So, and we
That's
started in March, so
fantastic.
it's crazy.
Yeah, that's so fantastic, Cathy. And you've hit on the key word, and that is partner with us, because, it's not just, you don't just pay for a service and you're done. Like, we are here with you, where we're on
Right.
calls with you, we're your fractional marketing team. And I absolutely love working with you. I think you are a breath of fresh air in the land investing space, and I wish you all the very best. And thank you so much for taking the time to help inspire others.
Welcome. Thank you.